Our next guest describes the exhaustion people are feeling from dealing with the pandemic as coping fatigue. Author and speaker Allison Graham joins us now with tips on how to deal with it. Welcome, first of all, Allison.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, Allison. So many of us have been on a pendulum of emotions or roller coaster ride, however you want to describe it. We've just been swinging back and forth. There's been a lot to deal with throughout this pandemic. Talk to us a little bit more about coping fatigue. This is a term that you actually coined yourself.
Coins. Yeah, well, and it's no one is immune from this, right? Like I'm hearing it across the country. Executives are calling me, often the people you think have it together, and they're saying, I'm so concerned for my team's well-being. And yet when we dig deeper, they're struggling just as much. And it's no wonder. We have, had this pandemic drag on longer than anybody anticipated. And also, when you think about it, like people have their whole life, like everything else that could be a challenge in their life that they're also dealing with. And so it's the issues piling on top of each other that can really get to us and make it harder. I hear a lot, like, I'm just done. Like, I don't know, have you heard that? Like people say, like, I'm done. I can't take one more thing on my plate.
Exactly, Allison. And people are just being pulled in all different directions. You have a bunch of tips. We want to get through them. We don't have too much time, so I just want to start with the first one. Cope only with issues that matter.
Right. This is all about your energy, managing it. We only have so much capacity to think, to feel, to be, to do each and every day. So be really strategic about your priorities and only focus on those.
You also say squash habits that add to fatigue. What are those?
Well, this is when you want to get really compassionately curious with yourself and ask, what am I doing that may be making my life harder to deal with? Okay. So for me, the big one with this was I used to worry about everything. And it just, stole so many hours of my life. And so for others, it may be worrying, but it might be complaining or gossiping or not setting boundaries, procrastination, all of that. You want to find what is it and then find a solution for that.
You also say that people should be dealing with each issue they face independently. Why is that?
Well, we don't want the frustration from one issue to compound and intensify the next. So a really simple example of this is, you wake up late in the morning, the kids are not getting ready, there's an argument in the home, then you're late, you get in a traffic jam, your coffee order's wrong, and then you spill coffee on your blouse, and you announce, I'm having an awful day, when in actual fact, you had a series of annoying incidents. So each one needs to be dealt with individually instead of compounding them.
Right, just reframing a little bit there, right, in terms of our perspective.
Right.
And finally, adjust actions for each type of challenge.
Yeah, so this was pivotal for me when I was in my worst time in my life, when I was the poster child for burnout. And people would say, oh my gosh, what you're going through is so stressful. And I'm like, is there a better word? And I realized there are three things that are causing our stress: tasks, obstacles, and adversities. Tasks we do, obstacles we need to solve, and adversities we need the space and the grace to heal from and process. So COVID would be an example of an adversity. And society gets this backwards. We glorify the tasks and then we don't have capacity left over for what really matters most.
Right, and you also have one more tip. I just want to squeeze it in here. It is to set boundaries for yourself as well. So that's also, of course, a great tip, because so many people feel like they have to say yes to everything. We do have to leave it there, though, Allison, because we've run out of time, but we thank you so much for all these tips and helping us cope with all this fatigue. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.